Hello, my name is Mark Boney. Today's date is May 5th, 2024, week 4 of FTH 212. We are in the stages of stippling, or stippling, however you want to say it. I say it stippling, I mean it's the way it should be said. Got 3 patterns drawn out here. I've got a circle, of course the good old square on this side, and then weird curvature on the other side. I'm going to be doing those 3 patterns, getting them stippled and working on that. So we're going to take a break. I'm going to get everything set up and we'll get started. Okay, well, I'm back. It's been quite a process on getting the borders cut the way that I wanted them. They're not turning out the way that I wanted them, but I got the borders cut on 2 of them. On this one, might have to try and dress up this side some more, but it feels pretty good. So does this one. They feel good. And then there's the 3rd one. I do have a plan for either doing something here or on the back where nothing's been touched with a different type of bit, just to see what the outcome is, and who knows, might do it. I'm really dreading messing with the frame of the pistol after going through this process, but we'll continue on. We'll get some stippling done and we'll get back to you. Well, I've got my 3 practice stipple sheets completed. There's the circle, and that one I used the just the attachment on the wood burner that's just got lines through it going the same direction. Kind of went around the border going one way, and then I did them a different way in the middle to kind of break it up. I kind of like the way that looks. I'm not sure if I'll do that on the frame. Don't want to do the frame. Scared I'm gonna mess it up. There's just the basic dots, using the small tip, and just however long you hold it on there, it goes deeper, shallower. And then this one here, I don't know if you can see it either, it's kind of hard, but that one is the tip on the wood burner kit that I got, that if you do it right, it'll look like a basket weave. And I was just trying to see which one I like better, which one I'm going to do on the frame. The way these have curved is another reason why it's kind of making me iffy on the frame. I don't want to run my frame. I actually like the texture on that, and I don't want to mess that up, but we'll see what I can get done. Guess if I mess it up, I mess it up, and I'm without a clone, I guess. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Keep you updated. Get back with you here after a bit. Thank you. Okay, so I'm back and getting my design down on my frame that I wanted to do. It's all marked by blue tape. So we'll start at the back here. If I can get this into focus, I'm going to kind of come straight across above the pinhole here and go around the back side of the back strap there, connect it into the other side above that pinhole. And I'm kind of going to follow the same lines that are already there, do a little bit of mod on those, but for the ones like that are marked in blue, I'm going to have to cut those in so that I can do it. And then I'm going to come up underneath the trigger guard there and around. Going to tie all this in. I'm going to get rid of all this space between. It's just going to be a full wrap, I guess is what we're looking at. Down here, I'm going to come across the corners around the bottom on both sides as well, and continue that line back and around and down on the back side as well. I may Up here by the takedown lever, I may put some staple in, but I may do it another way that I've seen done without cutting in borders. Just because of the kind of need more practice with cutting borders, and this is kind of gonna test my limits. So all the blue areas at the bottom around the trigger here is getting modified. There, around the back as well, and the bottom as well, around the front and back of the bottom. I am going to put different stipling in here, so all this is going to be sanded down smooth. Not going to use a big grit, just a fine grit sand, just to smooth it out, get rid of that, and go with a different pattern than what's already there. Although I really did like that grip, that pattern on there. It's just got to do this for class or I wouldn't even be doing it. So I'll get that stuff roughed in and get back with you. Okay, I'm back. I found something online. Can't remember the guy's YouTube, but it's Cyclone, and he's got a cyclone as his emblem. But he does stipling, and he showed me, he's got on there how he uses a chisel bit. Don't know if you can see it. It's a shallow to deep U bit. So I've got a V and a U that I'm doing. See if you can see this. I don't know if you can, but with this it is cutting those lines a lot easier than it was with my Dremel. So I'm just going to continue on here. I just thought I'd bring that up for cutting the lines using wood craft carving tools, and I'll continue on here and get back with you. So been doing that. I don't know how well you can see it, but it actually, using those chisels, gives it a nice little bevel. You can angle them to where it'll bevel it as it's going. So I'll finish up where I got all this blue tape for my lines on what I want to do with it. I'll get that finished cutting out. I'll smooth everything down and come back in a bit. Okay, so I'm back. So as I was saying, that guy at Cyclone Gunworks was his YouTube channel. I saw the thing about using the U, the shallow deep U wood carving tool, and it helped me out maintaining my lines, and helped with the beveling, made it a lot easier than using the Dremel or the wood burner for line cutting and everything. How well this shows up, I don't know, but I took that line that I had tape at, come across, so I can encompass the whole back side. Let me get, I'm not good with cameras backwards. So I come around the back on the bottom here, continued up, and then kind of went with the original lines there, and the same on the front bottom right along in here, and used a polishing wheel on my Dremel to take out all the roughness, make it smoother, which it did. Did the come across the back side here above that pinhole. Don't know how well you can see it. I can barely see it, but I'm blind. So I come across that pinhole, straight across the back, through there, came up, and then I came above, or no, came underneath the mag release button here, and around the front of that, kind of taking that part under the trigger guard a little bit higher, all the way around. And yeah, so that's what I've got going on. Got my lines in there. I got it lined out the way that I want to do it. As far as the rest of, I don't know what I can do better here. But as far as the rest of the main area, I left the original lines. I'm going to follow those. But what I'm doing is I'm bringing the stippling all the way around, so there's not going to be any space between the front pad, the side pads, or the rear pad and side pads. All that's going to be stippled in along those lines that I've made, and the existing ones make it a solid stipple project. And when I get that done, we'll be back. Alright, I'm back. That was a long process getting the frame stippled. I had my borders outlined, just the parts that I was modifying, extending, and I stuck with the original borders. But as far as leaving a border, I actually went and stippled right up against them, so there was no really line other than what the stipling leaves now. I didn't like the way the line looked when I stippled up to it. Some of the things that were hard on the practice part was the learning the border cutting. I tried it with the Dremel and watched the video again in the lecture for this week 4, and said something about using the wood burner to cut the borders. So I tried that on one of them. Still created more of a mess. I didn't like the way my borders looked on those at all. Then I was on YouTube and I saw this guy, Cyclone Gunworks, using, I've shown it before, just a U carving wood tool, and I tell you what, it made cutting the borders out for this a lot easier, a lot smoother. Was able to bevel it with that, and then I just took a buffing wheel afterwards on the Dremel and buffed around my edges, smoothed them out. And then this is the finished product. I don't know how well it's going to show up, but I went all the way around as I planned. Even underneath, I even went up under a little bit here where the top of the finger rests. So I under the trigger guard, sorry. And that was kind of, I didn't even have a border there, didn't even plan on doing it until I did it, and I just moved it in with the rest of the stuff that I had outlined. I also took and stippled here in front of the takedown bar on both sides. I like the way it feels. I definitely is not leaving my hand at all. So I think, like I said, the troubles that I had were with the cutting the borders on the practice sheets. I did not like the way they turned out, even trying to bevel them and everything. Did some more research. I tried it with the wood burner, like I said, and I highly recommend for stipling and cutting borders, getting this is just a cheap set from Menards, but and maybe $10. It came with about 8 different blades. I used the U for that. So that's my outtake on that. Probably do it more often. Just want some more practice with it, and maybe I can hone up my artistic, or what I should say, my non-artistic abilities, and do other stuff. I tried on one of these. I tried to do using the basket weave design right here. I didn't like the way it turned out. I mean, it feels really good, but in the end, I decided to go with just the basic dimples, craters, whatever you want to call them. I like the way that turned out. I'll try and get a better view here. Turn this that direction. Up underneath. So yeah, that's week 4 project completed. So we will see you week 5.